Hello everyone and welcome to another tarot reading. Let me switch the light because the other one was way too bright. But yeah, another tarot reading. Sorry I've been missing for a couple of days, but the energies were so crazy. I was so low energy. And yeah, I don't deliver stuff when I'm not feeling my best because there's no point. I want to deliver good things. So I had to recharge. But yeah, I'm back and probably stronger than ever because my intuition has been pinging like crazy. And yeah, I made a intuition candle finally after procrastinating on it for I think almost 2 months. I finally did it. I finally have it lit. It is blue. I hope it also helps with my throat chakra. But yeah, okay, reading time. Before we get into the reading, one thing I felt called to start doing is before the readings, channel whatever Spirit is telling me. So this is basically kind of like the confirmation in a way. So obviously this part is not gonna apply for everyone, but if it does, let me know. And this is basically just to see if you're not sure, is this reading for me? This can kind of like clarify it. And I'm using my old witchy notebook that I used to do all my witchy stuff in and my spiritual practice. She's making a comeback after so many years of not being used. And I feel like this is also kind of like a comeback reading in a way for you. You know, we have the second week of the shadow integration of the post-eclipse, and the energy is a little bit less intense. I feel amazing. I was able to actually do stuff today. Still a little bit tired, but you know, it's given. The energies were so intense and we're only human. We gotta give ourselves a break here and there. But yeah, let's see. Okay, I channeled these letters, so A, T, H, and L. Then Cancer Moon, this was very specific, like we didn't only get the zodiac signs but also specific planets. So Cancer Moon, Mercury Gemini, or a Scorpio rising. Let me know in the comment section down below. Then we have job occupations. Someone's a nurse, someone's in sales, fashion, and then it was specific, like a small little boutique. Could be in a mall, definitely, but it's not like a big brand name. It's not something like, oh, that person works at Chanel or Louis Vuitton, whatever. No, it's a little bit smaller. Still fashion, like literally could be, oh, Hollister just came through. So, or something like that, or even Brandy Melville, which I don't know if it would be considered small, but whatever. Then we also have grandma on dad's side passed, and for some people specifically, or someone, her name was Elizabeth. Then we got California, Paris, and Tennessee. Could be places that you lived at or you're living at. Then also very specific car, what kind of car you drive, which is either a Fiat 500, or was it 5000? I don't remember anymore. An Opel or a Nissan. Then we have silver as favorite color, or you only wear silver jewelry. Then oil painting for some reason. And then we had little cottage. For some of you it literally has to be with your favorite book, you know, your favorite book, especially children's book, because I got like illustrations shown. There was a cottage, and that's kind of like your happy safe place. And the cottage thing led to Little Woman, because they also live in like a little bit of a cottage thingy. And then Jo, I think that was her name, the oldest. Was she the oldest one? Well, the one that's the main character in the story. But yeah, those are our little confirmations for you guys. Let's get into the reading itself and see what Spirit has to tell us. Okay, the first one that shot out was anxiety. So there's still some leftover anxiety that you need to make sure whenever it bubbles up that you take care of it. We have the 10 of Cups in reverse. Here's the thing. Your emotions never stay in the way towards your dreams and goals, but it can jeopardize it. So if I feel so anxious that I am constantly spiraling thought after thought and I cannot think in my favor, then that's when it kind of like gets in the way a little bit. That's why grounding is so important, okay? So make sure that you do your groundings in between the cleanses, the clearings. Every shower that you take, make it a little ritual. Literally set intention that as you're washing your body, you're washing away any anxiety, any negative energy, anything that's too much down the drain, okay? Make it sacred. Oh my god, make it sacred. There we go. Then we have the Strength and 3 of Wands. Okay, get your anxiety in check, and then also this week your courage and your bravery and your strength is going to expand and amplify. This is what I meant by a comeback. So maybe you felt like, oh my god, I'm going backwards instead of going forward in my healing, because you know, whatever the eclipse brought up to. But how do we shoot an arrow? We pull back on it to gain momentum and then let it go, and there it goes. Same thing here. Eclipses are supposed to have us face the fears, the patterns we are now ready to break, so we can evolve quicker. So, you know, it was maybe very bad and very chaotic last week, but you needed to go through that. We have the Page of Swords and then the 8 of Wands. Literally, just what I said. It's gonna propel you forward like crazy. Like everything's gonna be shifting super fast now. But you have to stay on track with where your mind's at, okay? There will be moments where the temptation this week to go back into the old story and think against your favor are going to be very, very big. But that's where your job basically is, to redirect that. What else, Spirit? We have a card in reverse. You're currently lacking a little bit confidence and doubting your skills and how you move towards life, which is normal. But again, in my, was it the shadow work? It was the shadow work reading on the healing channel, but also my inner circle had the same vibe too, where basically this week the biggest theme for everyone, regardless who's watching, is that you have to put yourself first. If you have to rest, then you're gonna go rest. If you need to take care of your personal things first before you do work stuff, then you do that first. It's all about choosing yourself first, and that's gonna set you up for the success after this spring equinox, which is the 20th or 21st of March, depending, or even the 19th already, depending where you are in the world. So the spring equinox is gonna shift things super fast, okay? It's where we finally can exhale and breathe, and just everything feels lighter. But until then, you really have to put yourself first. If people come with negative energy towards you and they're like, oh, can you hang out, blah, blah, you say no. You take that time to relax, to do some self-care, whatever it takes. You come first. Yesterday I had the plan to do a little bit more work and then also do some Reiki sessions and all that. And honestly, I did not have I did have a little bit of energy left, but I was like, you know what? I'd rather invest that energy in something else, like reading and what else? And journaling. I did some journaling yesterday because I had like an epiphany and a breakthrough about a cycle that I've been avoiding for the past 6 years, and I was like, that needs more of my attention than anything else. So I reserved that little bit of energy that I still had to do something for myself, and that's the energy that we need to embody the whole week. Me first, and then comes everything else. we have the Page of Pentacles and then the Four of Swords. Kind of like going back to what I was saying. I'm getting ahead of myself before I look at the cards. It's basically saying like, what opportunities do you have where you can rest a little bit and not charge into everything, where it's just slowing down. Definitely this week is about slowing down. No matter how quickly things are shifting in your life, this is also something that I've had. So I've been doing Reiki on my YouTube channel and on my Stan store as well. And a part of me was like, I need to take advantage of this momentum, of this energy of the eclipse to put the Reiki energy and clear out every stagnant little thing in my platforms and all that so it can grow. My biggest issue, I think, is my impatience, where I just want to rush through things. Doesn't matter what topic, but it could be career, money, love, everywhere. It's just my mind is just like, when the momentum's high, my brain is like, we need to go stronger in that, which can be a downfall a little bit because I don't give myself the time to rest in between or soak things up, and then I tend to overwhelm myself. So that is definitely my lesson that I'm learning this week, and I feel like everyone else is kind of a little bit on the same thing, where we just want to get by this week, like finally like finish it and say goodbye to the post-eclipse energy. It doesn't work that way, sadly enough. We have the King. Oh look, confirmation. I love when everything aligns. We have the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck, which is emotional maturity. The King of Cups is very like, I have a plan, but I'm not gonna execute it right now, and that's okay. I feel like we need to settle into that energy a little bit, because again, everything's shifting so fast that you don't feel like you are getting swept up in it, if that makes sense. What else, Spirit? Just a couple of more cards and then we will move on. Oh well, I said a couple of more cards, but they just kept popping out like crazy. Okay, let's start with the first one, which was Nine of Cups. So what do you feel pulled towards to right now the most? Like which desire, which goal? Because we have the Two of Wands right here, which could be decision making or preparation, but since we have the World card here and then the Magician in reverse, this is basically saying like the preparing part, not the decision making. Well, in a way you can pull the decision making into this, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. So this week a cycle of letting go of control is coming to a close end. When you're gonna feel anxiety, probably. That's why the Nine of Cups, Nine of Swords was in the beginning, where whenever you feel that itch, that I have to control everything. Because here's the thing, you're in control of your reality, but sometimes we tend to go into over controlling, and because it gives you safety. Especially if growing up in your childhood you had a lack of control over decisions on what you could do, what you wanted to do, when everything was decided for you, then this right now gives you like a feeling of safety. You're in a child, it's like, let me control everything. So soothing your inner child is very necessary. Learning to let go of control, which, hello, this week for me as well, where I just have to, for me at least, what I noticed for this week, the more I'm journaling is surrender. Not feel like okay, how can I put it into words? Where I feel like if I let go of the control, that, you know, it's gonna turn against me. I think that's my biggest issue, where I'm like, if I don't keep an eye on this situation and this circumstance, it can turn around and bite me in the ass, basically, which it doesn't have to be, but that's that fear that's in the background. We have the Eight of Swords in reverse, then the 7 of Wands in reverse, and then the Star in reverse. It's very interesting that these 3 are all back to back in reverse, because you are letting down your defenses. You're not keeping yourself trapped anymore. But the Star card here in reverse is kind of losing hope a little bit, I guess, where you by losing hope, it's easy for you to detach, and that's when everything happens. Make sure that when you do detach and surrender, it's still from a place of faith and hope, and not because you think like, well, it's never going to turn out the way I want to. That's the wrong way, okay? You need to work on that a little bit. Let's see what the fairies have to say. Okay, well, we have a good card. You have here, if you have doubts about your love life and how things are unfolding, it's looking good. That's a positive card. But basically it's saying like it's literally gonna turn around better than you imagined. Then we have, okay, you have to let go a little bit, be a little bit more loose. Like the dolphins here, go with the flow. And then we have movement. Oh, okay, this is good. So whenever you feel that itch for wanting to control stuff, Spirit is literally saying shake it loose. Shake it loose in that moment. Just move your body, shake it a little bit to disrupt that thought. I don't know why they said it specifically like that, but apparently it's gonna be super effective for you, because it literally takes your mind off it. Like, why was I worrying about this specific thing? Alright, let's see what the High Priestesses have to say. Because they have been very active. I knew there would be more cards. Okay, the color scheme is very interesting. So on one hand you have the power within you to transmute the fear that you have within you into strength. So whenever you have fear about doing something this week, just know that it's helping you expand your comfort zone. You can only grow if you feel uncomfortable. And also, this is maybe the moment where you have to learn how to transmute energy. So any anxiety that you have, literally visualize it and transforming into strength or whatever it is that you need. We have open your mind and being for everything that is. In everything lives God, even within you. How can I translate the last sentence? Oh my god. They couldn't have used easier sentences in German. Basically, like, live and use your gifts. So this is again knowing that your consciousness creates your life. So instead of feeling like you have to grip everything in control, just start telling yourself you are in control of your reality, which to some of you right now you might feel a little bit contradicted. You're like, but what you're saying. Here's the thing. When I felt like I needed to control everything in life, and I told myself the affirmation over and over, I'm in control of my life, that actually removed the pressure and anxiety for me, where I felt like the circumstance that I'm looking at right now is always going to stay like that, because I knew, oh, it can shift. If I change the way I think, it can shift. And the more you lean into that, it just gets easier and easier. It has to do with practice though. You have to train yourself. Then we have as a high priestess, you also receive messages in your sleep. So I don't know about you guys, but my dreams have been crazy for the past week. Every single dream had a message, and I had to look it up and all that because they were so vivid. And I think this has to do with Neptune changing its sign. Currently it's in Aries, and so the energy is very strong because it shifted. But Neptune is about dreaming. I think Mercury as well, which Mercury is retrograde in Pisces, right? So, and Pisces is dreamy. It's literally dreamland. So pay attention. Start writing things down. There might be certain patterns that where you can see, oh, okay, I need to work on that. When I did a Reiki session and I had a dream that night, it was basically my brain processing and purging out whatever fear, old beliefs and programming I had to reprogram. Then we have the destiny of a high priestess is transformation. And I love that the card is purple. It's literally the crown chakra. And also the color of spirituality, basically. So again, surrender to this. The best way is to surrender. Don't fight it. You are already on the spiritual path, so this should be a little bit easier for you than regular people, you know, the normal people, I guess, where they don't know why their life is like that right now, why everything seems just to go up in flames, and they might fight against it a little bit and all those things. But you, because you are in the spiritual path, you are looking at the stuff, you are doing the self-development work that you need to, it's easier for you to comprehend, okay, this is a pattern, this is showing me this, whatever. Work with it. Don't just bypass and are like, oh, this week is so shitty. Actually work with the energies, take advantage of it. So yeah, that's a very good reading. How about we use a dolphin emoji and just very simple, I go with the flow. Whatever happens this week, we do not fight it, we just go with it. We let the energies guide us. What needs to come up this week will come up, okay? I did not expect for this lunar eclipse for me to be so extremely like about my wounds from my relationships in the past, coming everything up, and I was like, okay. I thought it was more probably going to be a little bit more money based, but apparently not. It was literally around fear of self-worth, visibility, and opportunities, and all those things. So that's what came up for me, but I had no way of anticipating how it's going to be. So I don't even know what's gonna happen with the next eclipse in August. So it's just literally basically kind of like the Kinder eggs, where it's just like the blind surprise. You don't know what you're gonna get. Same here, kind of. So yeah, I hope this reading gave you the clarity that you needed. Let me know in the comment section down below what resonated the most for you. How have you been handling the last week and the beginning of this week? I would love to read all up about it. I'll see you guys in the next reading. Until then, bye bye.